greatest discoveries from Deep Blue. Ancient Caesarea sunken treasures. Discovered by a diver after a violent storm in 2015, the treasure of Caesarea, an Israeli seaport famous for its Roman ruins, consists of over 2,000 extremely pure gold coins dating back to somewhere around 1,000 years ago. The priceless artifacts changed perspectives of the area entirely, demonstrating its enduring wealth, with the coins 95% pure 24-karat gold and almost perfectly preserved under the port's choppy waters. Demonstrating extensive travel, the $240,000 find originates from various parts of the Roman Empire. The San Jose Galleon. The San Jose sank in battle after catching fire in 1708, killing all 600 on board and taking ample valuable treasure with it. It was discovered 300 years later in 2008 off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia, alongside an estimated $14 billion in treasures. The 62-gun galleon was found by a robotic submarine 600 meters below the surface and is the subject of legal dispute over ownership of the vast wealth it contains, thought to include around 11 million four-doubloon Bolivian gold coins and a large volume of silver coins. Heraklion sunken treasures. The Egyptian city of Heraklion lay under the waves for 1,500 years near the mouth of the Nile, with its origins dating back to 1200 BC. It was rediscovered in the 1930s, though its existence was already known, being mentioned in works of Greek historians like Herodotus and Strabo. Major exploration began in the 1990s, uncovering statues of the god Serapis and the Queen Arsinoe II, as well as bronze coins, two temples, a treasure-carrying ship, and design elements consistent with historical description. The site is thought to be likely to be worth around $10 billion. Antikythera treasures. Dating back to the 1st century BC, but containing some artifacts that are 3 centuries older, the Roman-era Antikythera wreck was discovered in 1900 off the Greek island of the same name. Divers initially thought they had found rotting corpses, but in fact uncovered 36 marble statues of people and gods, and another 3 of horses. Other finds at the site include an ancient bronze musical instrument, and, most remarkably, the Antikythera mechanism, a hand-powered model of the solar system and the earliest known example of an analog computer. The head of Hadrian. Found in the silt of the River Thames in London in 1834, the bronze head of Hadrian is slightly larger than life-size and was likely produced for the emperor's visit to the city in the year 122 AD, when it may have been attached to a bridge over the river. While plenty of marble statues of Hadrian exist, this bronze example is a real rarity. It weighs 35 pounds and may have been discarded on purpose. The head currently resides in the British Museum and, as a one-of-a-kind, has no clear valuation. The Curedale Hoard. One of the largest Viking silver hoards ever discovered, the 8,600 items found at a bend in the river in Curedale, England in 1840 consists of coins, jewellery and other silver thought to have been deposited there in the 9th century after the Vikings were expelled from Dublin Island. It originates from as far afield as Eastern Europe and Scandinavia, and its existence was speculated on locally long before it was actually found. It's worth an estimated $3.2 million. H.L. Hunley submarine. Confederate Civil War submarine, the H.L. Hunley, became the first submarine to sink a battleship in 1864, but it's likely its crew were killed by the shockwaves the blast produced. The ship was lost, its 3rd sinking. The weapon was a spar torpedo, an explosive-filled copper tube used to ram the side of the target. The sub was found near Charleston in 1995 and recovered in 2000 with a 12-meter, 15,000-pound Hunley now on display at the Warren Lash Conservation Center and valued at approximately $40 million. Apollo 11 rockets. The 1969 flight of Apollo 11 took humanity to the moon for the first time, but it took more than 4 decades for Jeff Bezos' Bezos Expeditions team to recover the F-1 engines that powered the Saturn V rocket from the bottom of the Atlantic, 14,000 feet deep off Florida. The twisted remains of the engines include thrust chambers, gas generators, injectors, heat exchangers, turbines, fuel manifolds, and dozens of other artifacts technically owned by NASA, which are now restored and on display at the Apollo exhibit in Seattle. Titanic artifacts. The fate of the prestigious Titanic on its route across the Atlantic has become, literally, the stuff of Hollywood, and the recovery of the wealth of the ship has been taking place off and on since 1987. Over 5,000 items have been recovered so far, from the sentimental to the genuinely valuable. They include a violin played as the ship sank, sold for $1.7 million in 2013, the last menu, the iceberg warning bell, a bronze statue from the ballroom, and a pocket watch stopped at the time of the sinking. Battersea Shield. The Battersea Shield, actually the cover of an Iron Age shield dating back to 350 BC, rather than the shield itself, was dredged from London's River Thames in 1857 and features circular Celtic art. It's thought to have been thrown into the river as an offering to the gods, in part because its covering is clearly too thin to offer any genuine protection and appears more decorative in style. It remains in excellent condition in the British Museum. With so much to be found under the oceans, what kind of history or treasure do you think might still exist waiting to be found beneath the waves?